We're back this week with another edition of BigIron Realty's Fridays in the Field, back near David City, Nebraska. You'll remember we're following brothers Brenden and Lukas Fricke. This week, Lukas has joined us. Lukas, you had a pretty timely rain to start the week.
Yeah, we were pretty blessed with that, Bryce. You know, we had about almost 3.5 inches here down Surprise area, a couple miles west of us, had almost 5. So really came at an opportune time for the fields. We're starting to look a little bit dry out there.
Opportune time. You guys have been busy these fields too. Tell us about some of the field work going on.
A little bit of the stuff going on as we started irrigation. That's one of the biggest one, or the repairs of the irrigation season, as most people with pivots would know. Started that last week here during the heat. We were pumping through that, trying to get stuff on, starting tasseling and silking, those kind of things. Trying to get ahead of that. Then we got the rain, kind of slowed us down. So this week now we're looking at fungiciding, getting a little bit of insecticide out there with some aerial application to try to get ahead of all those problems too.
Are you seeing some pests or diseases starting to show up?
Yep, a couple pests down in the Bellwood Valley are kind of coming up here with the western bean cutworm. I'm starting to see some of that, a little bit of common rust in places. So it's time to get that out on the commercial corn for us, and we'll probably start beans here next week, fungiciding and insecticiding them as well.
With some of the crop being delayed, that rain was really timely, as you mentioned. Talk about that and how some of that delayed crop is coming along now.
We're actually looking pretty darn decent. You know, looking at some of the satellite imagery through Winfield's R7 tool and some of those things, really showing some good stands out there for what we were dealt at the beginning of the year. Can't be too upset with it. So that rain really kind of allowed us to turn some pivots out, sit back, really help with the dryland pollination and that. The cooler temperatures have definitely come at an opportune time for getting some good pollination out there.
Real quick, want to hit on the livestock, since that's a critical part of your operation as well.
Well, the heat, our pigs handled them pretty darn well with it. I was pretty happy with how things went through there. Everything kind of continues with that. Hope for higher prices. Hopefully a China resolution comes with the tariffs, but only time will tell with that scenario.
Now to update us on the seed corn crop, we welcome in Steve with Syngenta. Steve, thanks for joining us again. Tell us about the crop and what you guys are doing right now.
Oh, about a week or 10 days ago, we started detasseling, started silking. We kind of shoot for that early silking, or right before it's silking, to start cutting and detasseling it. So it was warm last week to get started, but it's kind of cooled down now.
Are you bringing a machine in first to run over that before you bring in some of the labor?
That is correct. We cut about the top 6 inches off the plant, kind of open the tassel up. Then about 2 days later, that tassel will grow up and kind of be exposed by itself. Then our wheel pullers go in and pluck out about 90% of the tassels, and then the day after that, the kids start walking it and remove the last 10% of the tassels.
So they're only taking 10% or so. I didn't realize that.
Yes, that is correct.
All right, have you seen any diseases or things pop up that you're out in the field scouting for right now?
We're starting to see some gray leaf spot and some northern corn leaf blight. So we've been applying some of our fungicide, Triver Pro, and some of our other products, well, along with some insecticides. We have corn earworm that attacks our inbreds.
You cover a fairly large area of this part of the state for Syngenta. How long will the tasseling take in total for you?
Oh, it's probably 2.5 weeks. We're probably just halfway complete right now. So it takes about 2.5 to 3 weeks, and we're just 10 days into it.
Hard to believe we're looking at August already, but what are you watching now as we do go into a new month?
Just kind of, we got a good rains last week, so we kind of were able to take a little break on the irrigation, but just on those early fields, it's just the ones that are silking, get some fungicide applied and some insecticide applied for corn earworm. And
in terms of irrigation, are you doing anything different or unique since it is seed corn for production?
And we have watermark sensors in quite a few of our fields, and we monitor that weekly and time our irrigations based off those.
Very good. Steve, thanks for joining us again. Lukas, final thoughts from you, things you're watching this time of year?
I just want to get a good yield from that seed corn, make Steve happy. That's always what we try for, but hopefully for another good year, safe year for everybody, especially with the kids out there. Always worry about that. And Jenna does a pretty good job doing pre-safety checks, making sure the field's perfect for everybody. So really looking forward to it this year.
That was Lukas Fricke and Steve joining us here near David City, Nebraska for this week's edition of BigIron Realty's Fridays in the Field.